Okay, so this is the house we just moved out of, and this was built in 1760. So I had some interesting experiences in this house. So I'm going to try to explain about where I saw and experienced what I saw. So this is the entrance of the house, and the door frame to the right is where I saw a full apparition of a Civil War soldier, a redcoat, and just kind of leaning up against the side of the door, facing the other wall, but not looking into that room. And I don't remember exactly where I was standing, but I saw that red-coated Civil War soldier in that doorway. Let's see. This was the family room. The room, kind of the purple walls, that's where I had my dog room, my grooming room, etc. And I would see black shadow figures walking back and forth. Again, this house was built in 1760. This is the other side of the family room. Really didn't have much experience in this particular room. That was the office. Not really anything that I can remember in this room. But we did find an old photo of a young girl stuck in the fireplace. Kind of odd. Again, this is the room where I would constantly see the black shadow figures walking back and forth. The kitchen, I would smell some odd smells like cigarette smoke, and we didn't smoke or don't smoke. No one in the house smoked. This was a dining room. We really didn't experience anything there. The porch, not really. Now, this is one of the stairways that went upstairs, and kind of right in that door you see the basement steps, or the basement door. And it was an old basement, like I said, built in 1760. And there was a stream that ran under our basement. And supposedly, before we rented the house, the landlords had a paranormal group come in and do an investigation on the house, and they claimed there were evil entities in the basement. I never experienced anything in there. The only weird thing I did find was the jawbone of what looked like a canid, very old jawbone, up on the upper part of the stairwell, or the door frame. Don't know where it was there, why it was there, but it was a very large bottom jawbone of what looked to be a dog. So we took that and buried that in the backyard. May not have been the smartest thing to do, but we did it. This was the bathroom, and this was the area that I got the scare of. And I was taking a shower, just facing the shower, and there was a very dark, crystal clear shadow figure on the other side of the curtain. And at the time, it really didn't dawn on me what it was, and it didn't scare me at the time that I saw it. But prior to seeing the shadow figure, I would often see the shower curtain kind of move back and forth as if someone were coming into the bathroom. And I did experience that a few seconds before I saw the shadow figure, but again, I just assumed someone was coming into the bathroom because we only had one bathroom. Saw the shadow figure. It didn't do anything. It was a male form, roughly about 5.5 feet tall, but very dark, very crisp, and male presence. And again, it didn't register at the time. And then I got out of the shower, asked who'd come into the bathroom, and no one had come into the bathroom. And so a couple hours later, I'm like, okay, I need to debunk this. And I could never get the height correct or the darkness or crisp lines of the shadow figure that I got. So I had my son come in, stand where the shadow figure could have been. It had always been. And the result of him standing on the outside of the curtain, me standing in the shower, was a gray silhouette, not a dark, crisp line. And the gray silhouette was actually two gray silhouettes off of each curtain. And again, the shadow figure was a very crisp line. So after trying to debunk this multiple times, I could never get the correct shape and color of this shadow figure. So then that started to spook me out. So I had to have the dog in the bathroom with me when I took showers, because I'm a chicken. So if you can see the toilet right there, and then probably about a foot and a half is where the shadow figure was, but it was like right up where the shower curtain was. And very dark, very crisp silhouette. This was my son's room, and when we first moved in, his bed was, and he was about 7 years old at the time, the bed was right where that vent was, and then he had bookcases kind of closer to the front of the bed where the window was, away from the wall. I'm pointing and you can't see where I'm pointing to. Anyway, so he had seen a young girl staring at his toys in his bookcase on multiple occasions in his room. And then we had moved his bed to where the window was and where the bookshelves were. And then he was starting to see black shadow figures in his doorway. Roughly, he was saying what we gathered about 7 feet tall. And it was just a black silhouette, and it scared him. So he ended up sleeping with us in our bedroom for a while, but it scared him often. And in that hallway where his bedroom was like this is the other bedroom. Really didn't have any experiences in here, but this is the hallway. And going down those steps, I always, not always, would feel like someone was going to push me down the steps. And then this was our bedroom, or the master room, so to speak. And that window to the right, there was a closet right there, right? So there's the closet. So our bedroom was on the far end, or our bed was on the far end, and I had 2 or 3 foster dogs that would react to something in that corner in between where the window is and where the closet was. They would be sleeping, I'd be taking a nap, and they would fling up and be barking at the corner of the hackles raised, and just one pissed off dog. And these were retired racing greyhounds that typically they don't care. Now, the interesting thing is that none of my personal dogs ever reacted to this, or to that extent. It was just the foster dogs that I had. And so those 2 or 3 dogs would stare and bark and growl at that particular corner. I didn't see anything. They may have. So that was the experience in my bedroom. And then shortly after moving, there is a attic up there, and I heard heavy, boot prints walking back and forth above our bedroom. Now, where our bedroom is, like I said, was the master bedroom, and where I heard the boot prints, the heavy foot walking, nothing could stand up there. So it was very bizarre. And I only heard that a couple times, and then I never heard it again. So we did have the house blessed, and that's the basement, or not the basement, the attic stairs. And that went up, and it went kind of the whole length of the house, but only certain parts you could walk in. This is the backyard, and you can see a red brick building at the far left corner. That is what's called Naylor Hall, and that used to be an old church, the town church, but it also served as a hospital during the Civil War. And again, this area, my house was built in 1760, or that house was built in 1760, prior to the state of West Virginia becoming the state of West Virginia. So this was a Civil War hospital, as the house I was in was a Civil War hospital, and there's some stories that I can go into, but I'm already almost at, I don't know how much time I've been talking. But anyway, so that red brick building, there used to be a ton of graves over there, and they actually took out the graves, or the gravestones, and they're all in the basement. And there is some pretty significant paranormal activity that can go on in that building. So that's the shed. Nothing exciting. So that is the property that was built in 1760. There we go. So this right here is Naylor Hall, where the graves were in the basement, or are in the basement. So that's my paranormal story.